butchers to cut you into profit.
But Sean Raz from Raz Radio.
Yeah, he's from Raz Radio. Raz is our guy. I mean, you're Sean Mother effing Raz.
Here come the butchers to cut you into profit, to profit, to profit, to profit, to profit.
I want the Raz. I want the Raz right now. Where is Mother effing Raz?
Join me, Sean Raz, for the first 52, Tuesday, 6 to 8 p.m., RazRadioLive.com. The simple power of truth.
Here come the butchers to cut you into profit. Innocent people turn into military targets.
Independent surveys show that Salty Talk is cheaper and easier to listen to than most other streaming radio shows. For example, if pbs.org is, and houselive.gov is, Salty Talk is, or something like that, anyways, based on randomly made up survey information and data extrapolation out of thin air. Salty Talk. Add a little salt to your...
See, life is never simple. You try and rise to the top, you end up in the middle. Seems everything I do will fall into a million pieces. My life for what I do, it's how I do, so mind your business. I'm at a low like Mickey and the wrestler. Got stress on my chest, my head's messed up. Under pressure, I get it, don't need a lecture. Don't mention these desperate measures, better sever the tension. I'm getting better, not sometimes I'm feeling able to stop. It's just a fable, I'm still waiting for my angel to drop. I can't take it no more to the chest. I feel so weak and depressed, there's no doubt in my head, I don't speak.
You can't run, you can't hide, but you can't fly. You can't run, you can't hide, but you can't fly.
It's time for a TF52 flashback.
I'm kind of getting used to not riding, not driving. It's really fucking weird. I walk a lot. Well, with a motorcycle, I ride here and there too. But as long as I'm within a mile of a store, I'm fine,
It's pretty amazing what you can put your body up to doing. I mean, shit, just a year ago, you were hard to get moving, to go do stuff, And when we did go do stuff, you would be done. We'd get back, we'd go to, I don't know, we went to the Shell Festival, or the Sharktooth Festival.
Oh, yeah, that beat the shit out of me.
And you were done when you got that back.
Yeah, but even one time we went to the beach.
Yeah.
And I was exhausted. We were supposed to go on a boat the next day. I was like, I'm fucking tapped out. Now I have a little bit more energy. Also, that has to do with the way I'm eating as well. But and even on that's kind of going off the rails a bit too.
Well, but all that stuff is good. I always tell my father, constantly I'm telling my father, listen, you need to go. You need to push yourself till it hurts, and then go relax for a little bit, and then push yourself the next day till it hurts. And before you know it, you're going to get a little further than you could the day before. And each day you'll get a little further, a little further, a little further.
Every day, almost every day, I get out here and walk down to the lake just to do it. And it's probably, I think it's a 2.5 mile trip back and forth, right? And then at some other point in the day, I'll walk somewhere in town to go get food shopping or whatever, right? And then if I'm really feeling fastidious, I'll actually walk to the bar, right? So now I'm doing like 5 miles.
Are you reading the dictionary while you're there?
I just have a good command of the English language.
I've never heard you use that word before, fastidious.
Oh yeah, there are a lot of words
we're gonna do a segment with Dave. Big words from Dave.
I'm not going to do that for your edification.
It would be more entertaining if you did it, though, Sean.
If I did the big word with Sean. Dave can come up with the words. I have to figure them out. Hey, I did pretty good with fastidication, didn't I? Is that what it was?
Well, you've already distorted that whole thing.
Right,
fastidious.
And
edification. Those are the two words I just used.
Fastidification.
All right, here's the word that I really want everyone to look up. Obsequious.
Obsequious.
It's a word I learned in high school. obsequious. It's a word I learned in high school, not even from an English teacher. It was just, we were like, what? Somebody had learned it and talking about it in a group, and I was like, what does that mean? And I just remembered it ever since.
This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill, the story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
Oh, that's right. Nothing more. Nothing more than the truth. You're listening to First 52, RazRadioLive.com. Twitch TV/OnRaz1. That's where you'll find us. Many other places. I can't go through them all. It's just too long of a list. You'll find us all over the place. Happy news for tonight. I'd like to announce that the Mallard Report comes back to Raz Radio starting tonight. I'm looking forward to having him on 9 o'clock. That's right, Mallard. I got it right that time. 9 o'clock p.m. EST. You can check out the Mallard Report. He was with us at the very beginning of Raz, and he's back with us now. So that's a good thing. That's a great thing. Of course, sitting over to my left is my beautiful wife, Lexi. How you doing, honey?
Doing fantastic.
Did you have a good week?
Yes.
Yes, you sure?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. A little stressful. Good weekend. I thank you for the grill. I got a grill for Father's Day. Got to spend the weekend on my boat, which was very fun and very enjoyable. Once
that
I got
grill
through,
was from your son, as he pointed out several times.
Many times. Many times. And of course, sitting to her left,
imaginary money.
His imaginary money, special money. Of course, sitting to her left is just Dave.
That's funny. The note is still on the desk too.
Yeah, you're just Dave. I don't know what I'm going to do with your. If you look on the OBS there, if you look on the Twitch thing, you're still Four Toe Jones.
Yeah, but it's an at thing. So it's an at thing. So that I do have at Four Toe Jones.
Right.
That's the way to contact me. Not just Dave.
Well, now it's just Dave. And that's what we're going to do.
Just Dave.
And I don't respond to anything anymore. Anyway, I used to be like on Twitter all the time. We used to do these shows. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I know. It's hard. That's one of the conversations we will get into eventually this evening is exactly what is social media doing to our society and how can you avoid it? Or how can you use it the way you need to use it and still function as a normal human being and not have your whole sanity taken away from you because of social media. One of the few topics I've got pulled up to talk about this weekend. Again, Forto, you were with us on the boat. Just Dave, I'm sorry. It's going to take a while. It's just Dave. It's all just Dave.
Well, I was waiting for you to ask me how your week was. I'm still recovering from Saturday.
It was a great day, man. A lot of fun on the water.
Yeah, it was great to be with my son too. It was a great day all around. I had such a great time. And James and I can't remember her name.
Caitlin.
Yeah, it's just a great crew of people. Great group of people. I loved it. I really do.
Yeah, we all get along well. They're good people. Can't wait for our camping trip that we're going to have here pretty soon with them. That's only a couple of weeks away. So that'll be fun. That'll be a good time.
It will.
Other than that, it was Father's Day, yet another Hallmark holiday. I appreciate everything that was done and all that we did after we got through the ignition key fiasco. Of course, we put the boat in the water, and as soon as I go to start it, it doesn't want to start. That always makes for an enjoyable, stressful few hours.
Well, the cool thing, it wasn't that trafficy like it was the first time I went out with you a couple weeks ago, where it was insane. There was an insane amount of people.
Sunday was ridiculous,
right?
Wasn't it? Where we went to that little hidey hole spot that we have.
Mm-hmm.
It was full, completely full. I was like, "Are you kidding me? How does this get like this?" When we were here, and we were the only people here for like 5 hours one day.
Well, because it's Father's Day.
Well, and Let 'Em Breathe was out there.
Oh, God. This guy pulled up in a really awesome boat. I love the boat. The name of the boat was called Let 'Em Breathe, and the B was two boobs in a bathing suit sideways. All right? And this fat guy pulls up in this boat, and they called Let It Breathe. Mm-hmm. Hopefully nobody listening knows who Let It Breathe is. And he's got, 3 attractive, larger girls. I mean, this guy's fat. I mean, big, fat guy. And the girls, they were attractive, larger girls. I mean, they definitely, she said, I didn't really listen to them talking, but she said they were kind of foul-mouthed and vulgar. So he pulls up, and he actually is using an idea I want to do on my boat, right? He pulls up in this beautiful 25-foot, 26-foot pontoon boat, right? It's got the back lounger on the back. I mean, it's just a nice boat. Older, but nice boat. And he pulls up and he anchors down and he turns his radio on. Well, he's got speakers mounted on the outside of the boat, which is something I want to do.
Wait, was this the spot that we always hang out?
Yeah. Made for a really obnoxious afternoon,
So it started out okay. It really wasn't too bad in the beginning. Then he started playing this horrible white trash, meth head, kid rock, basically. Like that kind of music. Loud, obnoxious, curses, the whole nine. And listen, I don't watch my mouth around my son. You know it.
Right.
But I don't, and there was other kids around us. I wouldn't pull up and play vulgar music loud off of my boat.
You played like
multi-generational music.
Well, kind of like hangout music, nothing major.
One of my favorite channels to play, I use Slacker Radio. It's a dive bar jukebox.
Right. Yeah.
Which plays some, I mean, it goes from Frank Sinatra to Kid Rock every once in a while, but it's I don't want to say the edited, but again, when you pull up to a public arena like that.
I'm going to guess that these were younger people.
No.
Really?
No, he was probably close to my age.
They were in between my age and Sean's age.
Yeah. The one girl, I think, was probably in her mid-20s. Two of those girls might have been mid-late 20s, and then the other one was in between there.
Yeah, maybe younger. Fine.
Yeah. But either way, it was obnoxious. I mean, just loud obnoxious. And I don't care if you want to do that. I pull up and play my radio and all that. But how about some consideration for the people around you? The people that don't want to hear it or have young children, that are being exposed to something maybe they don't expose them to. I just think that's obnoxious and rude.
That is something I noticed about Americans. They don't have any situational awareness. They don't know where they are when they drive their car or when they're walking to the street. They just have no fucking situational awareness.
Yeah, she walks up to me. She goes, "Listen, I'm ready to go because I'm about ready to go punch this guy in the face."
Yeah,
Lexi.
Throat. I said throat.
Throat. No, you said face the first time.
No, I said throat punch.
Okay.
I know what I said.
All right. Don't yell at me.
Because I was envisioning doing it. I know it's going to be in the throat.
Right in the throat.
Yeah.
Get him there. Anyway, but otherwise, it was a good weekend. We got the new prop. Mom dropped off my new prop today.
Nice.
I don't know if Foretold told you.
What?
Who's Foretold?
Dave. I'm sorry, just Dave.
Oh.
Just Dave. So just Dave. I don't know if just Dave told you, but I got the new prop today. Mom and Dad dropped it off for
That's
me.
Very exciting.
Is that nice of them?
Is that easy to swap out?
I'm hoping so.
10 minutes.
Yeah,
with
that's
the right
what I'm
tools.
figuring.
10 minutes.
That's
you
what
got
I'm
a puller. You got a prop puller.
You don't need one. Not for that.
It'll come right off the shaft.
Yeah. Once you pull that nut off, it should pull right off the shaft.
I would suggest you look. I don't know if that's legit, but maybe you should look to get a new.
Is it like changing out a tire or something?
It should be.
It's only one bolt. It's only one nut.
Yeah. It's that one nut on there with the cotter pin through. Pull that cotter pin off.
And it's Boat Talk. It's better than Tech Talk.
I remember the dude.
I like it.
I remember the dude said, "Don't tighten it more than hand tight."
Yeah.
It's like a front hub.
Yeah.
Like a disc.
The spinner. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
You get that on there.
Got the castle nut and with the pin.
With the pin through.
Yeah.
Yep,
the hardest
exactly.
thing is probably just going to get breaking the bolt. You got to get somebody that holds the prop and somebody to pop the bolt.
Yeah, because it's been sitting in the water all that time. Hey, I'm gonna have a new prop. We might take the boat out after work Thursday because I'm gonna get it on tomorrow probably.
Should put some penetrating oil on it.
Yeah, I could do that. I think I have some in the garage in the shop, so we can do that. Anyway, spinning off in the boat talk here.
It's better than the inevitable talk we're gonna have.
Yeah, we're gonna get there. I mean, like we said, I got some social media talk I want to talk about. The Space Force you guys have brought up during the beginning conversations. Obviously, the immigration conversation is going to come up, which is what led me to my social media thoughts today and over the past few days. And I wrote Never Ending Cycle down. And I don't remember what I wrote. I wrote that down last night. We were talking about something last night, and I ran in here and wrote Never Ending Cycle down. I don't know if it was something we were watching, if it was something we talked about. But for some reason, that's what I wrote down. And I think it goes in hand with immigration. I honestly, for some reason, that's kind of... I got a really bad memory. You guys haven't figured that out yet?
I'm full aware of that.
Yeah.
I live with you.
Right.
Hi.
How
I'm your
you
wife. Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
Just in case you forgot.
No, I didn't forget.
All right.
I don't think I did. You said you were my wife?
Yeah, you're married.
Oh, damn. That
Sorry.
got all ruined. I got some antidepressant stuff pulled up here that I kind of wanted to get into. This was well before that other conversation. It has nothing to do with that conversation. It was actually I wanted to get to last week because we got in that the whole this whole thing that came up last week with the increase. Did we talk about the increase in suicide and did we get into that last week?
Not on air, I don't think.
Okay, you don't think?
I don't remember.
All right, because I know we.
You
got
can't
into
remember
it.
from last night. At least mine's the last week.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I think I was drinking last week.
I think I was drinking last night.
I'm totally sober today. I haven't drank since fucking Saturday.
Well, you've been not binging, fasting a lot recently.
I'm on a
wet,
fast
dry
today.
fast, all that crazy
I'm
shit.
on a fast today. Now I'm doing 20-hour fasts every day.
I couldn't.
And today's the first day, and I probably will be. My stomach will be like
during the show. I'll be hearing it in the mics. Great, thanks, Ortoad. Dave, I can't listen. What do you want me to do?
At least you're aware of it. That's cool.
Yeah, I'm trying. I'm really trying.
Yeah.
As summer travel begins, TSA says come early and be prepared. Of course, anytime we get into major traveling times of the year, they want to stick their thumb up your ass.
Yeah.
This is why we don't fly. One of the main reasons. It's not even money anymore. It's the same cost. We still go places. We still do things.
You know, for me, since I've done a little bit of flying over the last year, and flying internationally. Oddly enough, the TSA seems to have gotten it together a little bit more, right, in terms of getting through the lines. And I'm not. And you still got to go through the thing, right? You don't even opt. Like I don't even opt out. But
what thing? You talking about the bomb sniffing one? You talking about the body scanner,
the naked picture
the
one,
radar detector,
the naked picture one?
Oh,
whatever
so
happens.
To barge you with all
right.
that nastiness.
The very machine I went through.
The cancer
with
scan.
drugs in my pocket.
And never got caught, right?
No, it was my first international flight ever, and I had fucking LSD in my pocket.
Nice.
And I just sat there.
Well,
with
that's
a
just
smile on my
paper.
face.
Well, that's just paper. Yeah, they wouldn't even
Well,
think.
I had it. I initially had it in aluminum, but I took it out and put it in wax paper, so I knew it wasn't going to be seen.
It just looks like a receipt in your pocket.
And not only that, it was these shorts. I have a secret pocket inside, so they they couldn't even feel it.
Oh, they could feel it. They would find it, Dave, because they want to fondle your balls.
They did fondle my balls, but they didn't find anything.
See, this is part of why I will not fly. I can't do it. I love flying. I miss flying. I loved doing it.
Yeah.
I like looking out the windows, seeing the heights, seeing all the different terrain, and it's gone now. It's I will never enjoy it again because I can't unless I do it myself.
Well, the thing is, if you do it more often, you'll probably get used to all the bullshit.
I'm not going to acquiesce to that.
I could go back.
Bob Tuskin said the same thing to me.
I could go back and acquire a pilot's license, and we can buy a little.
Bob Tuskin said the same
Cessna.
thing to me. He's like, Sean, you're going to have to eventually just acquiesce and deal with it because, like he wants me to come up to the Free Your Mind Project one year. I'm like, all right, well, I'll drive up there. No, you're going to have to. And I'm like, no.
Well, that's up to you, man. You're comfortable here. I'm now an international traveler, and I'm going to keep it that way.
Abroad?
Yeah,
I can't travel abroad. I got a wife.
Abroad.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Boom.
Bad joke night. Bad joke night. On the
You got to remember,
it's like an old man dad joke.
You got to understand the shit. The shit is in this country, right? You travel outside of the country, like when I in and out of the Guatemalan airport. Boom.
I can drive to Guatemala.
No, you can't. Oh, yes, you can.
Why can't I?
It'll be more difficult to drive than it is to fly.
I could take the boat to Guatemala. It'll take a long time, but I could take the boat to Guatemala.
It's not really
I
smart.
would not be doing all that.
Well, we'd hug the coast, and it would take us probably a month and a half.
You still got to run across. You got to run the 90 miles across from Key West to Cuba. Right?
No, I'm talking going this way, around Texas and all the way around.
Oh, Jesus!
That's what I'm saying. It'd take a few months.
You could, yeah.
But I could take that pontoon boat and do that. We could travel.
So who's going with me when I travel to Europe and the Galapagos Islands and?
I don't know. When you figure out that when you have the money to do that, we'll have that conversation because I can't even get a passport.
Flying to England's not that bad.
Yeah, she did it a lot and got deported. Don't forget, she's been deported.
That's different. I had the wrong visa, and I didn't know that. It was my immigration officer's fault, and it got straightened out. That was a different
You've
situation.
still been deported, honey. I don't know what to tell you.
Oh, you sound like every motherfucker out there now.
What do you mean by that, huh?
I don't even want to get into it yet.
You're not ready for that one yet?
Not yet.
Because it's going to dominate. It's going to rile me up. I'm just going to keep me going for the rest of the show.
It's not going to dominate the whole show because that's really, honestly, I think right now this whole argument with the immigration is just stupid.
No, it's a valid thing to argue about. But the shit that's going on and the light that it's shining on, the people that are complaining about it.
That's my issue.
It's just they're being told what to be upset about.
Right.
You know, it's this outrage. You're being told what to be outraged about. And I had said to him, because we all know who I'm talking about. Like, he had posted a new picture of this is the detention center of the other day,
right?
When it was Trump's fault, right?
Which looked like the same picture from 4 years ago, 5 years ago, 7 years ago.
Why weren't you outraged? You know, when this picture was taken,
right?
Well, because I didn't know, right? So I was just gonna keep going. Well, because you were just told to be outraged by this, because I've told it to him a couple times now,
right?
And he goes, no, it's just and every time it's because I just found out. I was like, well, some of us knew about this shit long before. Like,
some of us have been warning. You know, I keep throwing that in his face too. That's one of my biggest comments. Every time he has a little comment about, oh, well, you know, he'll post up, oh, they're being kept in concentration camps, detention centers, blah blah. Oh, you mean?
Well, it is a concentration camp. It's
do you mean the concentration camps and the detention centers that Dave and I and myself and other people spoke about
years ago
in 2008, 2009, 2010?
Used to start the show off from FEMA Region 4,
right?
Yeah,
5 years ago, and it was because of that. That whole
that reasoning, right? Exactly. So if you go back, and I hate to bring up Alex Jones, but there was a point in time where he was really on a lot of stuff, and he went to this facility being built. I forget where it was. It was in a small town. The whole town had been taken over by this corporation that was building this prison, and he was getting a tour of the prison. And in one of the rooms was some blueprints, and one of the things said Alien Detention Center.
Yeah.
Well, what do you think? It wasn't aliens coming from space. It was this situation. Exactly what we're seeing now.
Maybe now because of the space.
Well, we'll get into that later on. But it's not news. It's not new. It's not even. Everybody's mad because, and here's the thing: you and I are pretty simple people. We know that there's laws. We're going to follow those laws for the most part. We know there's basic laws. We expect cops to follow laws. We expect congressmen, politicians to follow laws. Well, Trump is done, and I'm not a Trump supporter, but Trump is doing nothing but following the laws on the book that were put in place years ago.
Yeah, just years ago. You don't even have to blame it on anybody else, right? Just
the best thing, if you want to blame or say something about somebody else, the best thing you can say is Obama wasn't following the laws that his own Congress put in place.
No, it's not that. Well, yeah, exactly.
He wasn't following the laws. End of story.
Right. Now, this whole...
I saw it today. Hold on. I saw it today. Matt made a comment about, oh, well, you know, with a Republican strong Congress, this is their fault. Well, no. It was a Democratic strong Congress when these laws were enacted.
Well, see, that's my problem with him. Is that he is not concerned with anything other than blaming somebody, and not blaming his people.
Right. And I get why you were telling me not to blame Obama. I get that.
Right.
I still think he was born in Kenya, but that's me.
Well, you have 800 to 1,300 people coming across that border daily.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do with that? And I know you're not for borders. You kind of are. And for right now, there's borders. There's a checkpoint. There's a place to go. If you want to migrate into the U.S., you have to go through the proper procedure, and you're not going to be split up from your family at that point. And I get it. They're desperate, and that's why they're going the other route.
But here's the thing.
But this doesn't have to happen either.
It's true. Right, it's just to obey the law, right? And I'm not against, and I'm not for that. But what bothers me about that concept is, you know, that you know, this guy is espousing, you know, they're taking children away from families. I'm like, do you know that per year 800,000 people are in prison from nonviolent drug offenses, right? They're literally ripping families apart, right? Because of a law in this country, right? But there's no fucking outrage. Right.
Right.
All right. So you remember a couple of years back, not too far away from where I used to live, there was a couple that took
the sailboat couple.
Yeah. Do you know the whole story about that?
CPS was trying to take their kids.
No, CPS did take the kid away.
Right. They got the grandparents had them because they marijuana.
Yeah, exactly. Right. They were in a hotel room in fucking Louisiana,
and
they got their kids
taken away.
This is something that's systemic. That the DCF comes in, Department of Children. All right. DCF
CPS, DCF,
right. Whatever local. It's not a federal thing. It's a local thing. It's a county thing. All over the fucking country, they're taking kids away for bullshit reasons, right? And ruining families and ruining lives, right? There was a guy in New Hampshire who set himself on fire about 5-6 years ago in front of the courthouse because he couldn't get his kids back, right? A couple of years after that, a woman shot a DCF worker in Rutland, Vermont. Now, I'm really close to that story because my best friend's girlfriend works in that same department, knows that woman that got shot, right, and does the same shit. She steals people's kids out of the house if she thinks there's a problem.
Right, and you know there's a lot
but there's no fucking outrage about that.
Right. Well, listen, we used to talk about that too back in the day.
Yeah.
At how. Where are these kids going? Why are they getting drugged up by getting put in these things? How many of them are being filtered into the sex trafficking because of stupidity of, people are crazy. People in power are crazy.
Yeah.
Including the CPS people. Yeah. And you'll see them trying to, the CPS.
They can come sorry to interrupt. They can come take your.
Oh, yeah.
They can come take your kid without
a warrant. That's where I was going to go. They are the only people that can be forced into your house.
No. If you just say no and don't, even if the cops are there, if you don't open the door, they don't have a leg to stand on.
True. Yeah, you can keep them out, but most people are so afraid because they make you think.
Exactly.
And I've seen videos of people keeping them out. True.
Right.
And you got to come back with a warrant. They can't get a warrant most of the time. I mean, yes, I'm sure there's situations where it is warranted. I hate to say that.
But true, right.
To come in and do it.
If there's some serious abuse.
Show the evidence of the serious abuse, then you can have access.
Because we have due process, right. Don't fucking show up because you got some woman's got a power trip and she goes in and tries to take some kid away because the kid brought marijuana into class one day in his backpack. And where the fuck is the outrage for that? This is happening to the people in our own country, but you seem to not you.
I know what you're talking about.
Matt seems to fucking only care about everyone else, right? And that's just fucked up. Everyone else out of it, without outside of his tribe, he doesn't give a shit about.
Right.
And it's just
I've noticed a lot of that up there, and I'm disconnecting slightly from a lot of different people. I mean, to be honest, I don't interact on. You won't see me. I made that comment today, but that was probably the last time I'm going to interact with anybody in a hateful, derogatory, angry way on Facebook. I'm going to start using my Facebook. I'll still promote show stuff and still share my articles the way I do. I'm not going to respond or interact on comments on my articles, and I'm not going to scroll through anymore and get into. I don't even want to read most of it, and I'm honestly not going to even scroll through Facebook that often. That's my goal right now. I'm dead serious. I don't want to do it.
Let's see if you could do it, because I tried to do it 2.5 years ago. I tried to
It makes me so angry, and I shouldn't be getting. And I don't eat like today. There was a couple things that I saw between him and the other guy, Tommy, that I wanted to just tear into it. I'm like, you know what? That's it. I don't want to do this
because you're not teaching them anything, right? All they're doing, we're not
going to agree, no matter what.
But here's the thing: is they're not listening in the argument. They're waiting their turn. That's it. Right. And I fell victim to this, and here's the really fucked up thing: is during the last administration, I saw the same thing out of conservatives.
Right.
He's born in Kenya. His birth certificate's
I still think his birth. I got evidence on that one. So.
Well, but the point is, like you were or that kind would just whatever happened, it was always Obama's fault. There's a hashtag thanks Obama, right? Which is kind of funny at this point because everyone blamed, or not everyone, the right side blamed it on everything on Obama, right? And now we should come up with a thanks Trump. Hashtag now, because it just every time there's something wrong, and in this specific case with these kids getting taken away, it's Jeff Sessions,
right?
He's the one that came down and said we're going to do zero tolerance, right? Because he wants to send a message and wants to de-incentivize people to come to this country.
I don't understand what people would expect to be done otherwise.
But it's worked. I mean,
seriously though,
I don't know if it's worked.
Dropped. It could be the time of year too, but supposedly the amount of people trying to cross the border has dropped by about 40% in the past few months.
All right, see.
But my question here's my question.
So it has worked as somewhat of a deterrent.
Here is my
it's
question.
The time of year, maybe, I don't know.
Here's my question: what exactly are you supposed to do when people come here? I don't care if people like this word or not. Illegally,
I'm stepping out of this.
No, hold on. Just hear me out for this conversation, because this is a true question. And 941-421-0401 if you think you have the answer.
No, I could tell you the answer specifically for Guatemala. What has to be done for somebody to come to this country?
Just hear me
out. Insurmountable.
That's not what I'm talking about. Hold on for a second. Stop for a second. Stop. What is expected to be done when somebody comes to your country either seeking asylum because of political problems, You know, that's what the big argument is, that these people are trying to escape their shithole countries where their kids are going to be raped and molested by the time they're 12 years old because of the drug cartels. What is we'll get into that whole subject there. You want to end the drug cartel problem down there? Decriminalize all drugs. End of story.
Yeah.
No more murder and killing, raping by drug cartels because there's no money to be made in it. But that said and done, what is expected of any country that has a mass amount of people coming in, whether seeking asylum or trying to come in illegally, when they capture them, especially if they have children with? What should be done? The parents are put into a prison of some sort because they've broken a law. Now, they're going to argue, oh, well, it's a misdemeanor to come in the country illegally. Okay, it's a misdemeanor. So what do you want us to do? Let all these people out, just go, hey, figure out what to do, or secure them somewhere? Children are being fed. They're being entertained. Yeah, it's a shitty situation.
It's the best of a shitty situation.
It's probably better than the situation they had at home, honestly.
Well,
I know what's-her-face is in trouble for calling it a camp, and I'm not going to call it a camp. But it's I'm willing to bet if they just truck 1,000, 1,200, 3,000 miles through Mexico to get up to the Texas border, I'm sure that camp or that concentration center they're put in.
I'm going to be honest right now. If they're crossing illegally, especially if they have children with them.
Don't say illegal. That really upsets people.
Whatever. If they're crossing and they're not going through the proper protocols and going through the main port of entry, okay, and they know that they're not doing it properly, but they have kids with them, it doesn't make sense to me to separate everyone. It just seems like that would create more of a clusterfuck. It's going to take longer to process.
Because you can't put a juvenile in jail.
Why are they... Okay.
So what they do is they put the parents in jail and they put the juvenile in the concentration camp.
But you can detain the illegal,
typically
process them, but keep everybody together. Detain them, but not necessarily incarcerate them.
So we should put them in the concentration camps like we did with the Chinese?
Figure it out. Figure out if you can get sponsors, other family members to come get the kids.
Well, see, that's what they do. That's typically what happens. And the kid isn't...
deal with the adult. But don't...
Hold on a second. I found this out today, that typically...
Stand by, caller.
When the parents do get detained and it's a misdemeanor, they're usually out within hours. And they meet back together, boom, they're on their way doing their thing, right? It's these rare cases where they come back a second time and it's a felony and then I got more things to do. That's when these kids are staying in longer. Also, it's kind of not unfair, but it's fucked up because most of the kids you see in there are crossed over by themselves, right? And it's taken a while. There's somebody else calling?
Well, imagine that.
Buzzard. Hang up on them.
We're going to have a big old group call. Guys, sit tight there.
Shot on site. You know what I mean? Well, they're being taken in. They're being fed. They're being given water. And I mean, what else are you supposed to do at that point? Until you figure it out, find a family member, whatever.
If Obama did
what are you supposed to
they'd
do?
Be celebrating it because Trump's doing it. Because it's
he's
not
Hitler now.
Exactly.
I mean,
that's the thing that bothers me the most is that they don't care about what the problem is. All they care about is pointing a fucking finger. And that's how I feel.
Yep.
All right, let's see what these guys got to say. Buzzy, be quiet for a second. We got Starl on the line also, so we're going to go to Starl first. What's up, brother?
Hey, how you doing?
Pretty good, Ben.
Hey, do you know any illegal immigrants?
Do I know any what?
Do you know any illegal immigrants?
Well, I got to be honest. I don't know them now, but when I worked at a pizza shop when I first moved into this area, that place I worked for a little bit, there was a guy there that the owner gave him a Social Security number to use. So I'm assuming he was probably not legal, and he happened to tell me this. So
he's paying income tax and Social Security tax, but doesn't file.
Right.
Oh,
so yeah. So that's a weird thing in itself. But anyway, no, I don't know any illegal immigrants right now. Do you?
Yeah, I know several. But out of the 30 I know, they wouldn't be here if they didn't get the benefits like everybody else does.
Right.
What benefits?
Social Security, food stamps, housing, all kinds of benefits. More benefits than you or I could ever receive.
So we have a social problem or a welfare problem, not an immigration problem, because they're coming here for the benefits.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So.
Yes.
All right. So how would you? What do you think is the smarter thing to do? Kill the social programs?
They would have to do like everybody else.
Well, I'm all for defunding all kinds of welfare, right? Because I think that actually hurts people's ability to get off their ass and do something. And here's a guy who makes, a decent amount of money by not doing anything. On the government dole.
Right. Well, but you always say that's the money you paid into it, though.
True. But the thing is, and
that's really not. I got to be honest. When people throw that argument out, Starl, not to like put you down or anything, but I don't. That is the furthest from a good argument to have, because honestly, this is one of the agreements I will have with that side is we spend so much money. It's on Starl. We spend so much money on war. We spend so much money on invading other countries, on weapons, on developing things that are not positive or not useful. So when that argument comes up, I gotta kind of agree with the other side on that one.
Well, my mom, she just turned 65 4 months ago, and she's yet to get her what's that? The old person pension?
Social Security.
The old person pension.
Yeah, Social Security.
Did she file for it, or is she just waiting for the check since she turned 65?
She's waiting for the check, and she's filed.
All right. So here's the one good thing is that they will actually give you a large check from the time you filed. So you'll get all that money back.
Retroactive, right?
Yeah, that's the one thing about that. The Social Security agency is that they denied me twice, but then cut me a check for $36,000. It cost me 2.5 years of my life to get that shit, and because they kind of just want you to die. Because here's the thing is if I had if I put 15% of my check into a life insurance policy from the time I was 18 years old to the time I stopped working at 42. No, let's just say 65, right? And then the day before I turn 65, I die. All that money that I had put into a life insurance policy goes to somebody else, right? Whereas if I put all this money into Social Security and I die the day before I can get it, that just goes away. That's money I paid for something that just goes to somebody else, and it's a fucked up situation.
Well, yeah, the whole financial end of the government controlling all this is really just a messed up situation. And again, we need social services to help people in true need, but they're abused by Americans just as much as they're abused by immigrants. So
how can someone come here from Cuba and
on
be
a boat
67 and still get it?
I don't know if that's true or not.
That is true.
You know somebody in that situation?
Yes, I know 2 of them, and then I know the lady I go stay with in Ecuador. She comes here and gets her Social Security, and she goes and she lives in Ecuador.
All right, so I heard Buzzy chime in about Mexicans. Hold on, Starl, for a second. Buzzy and Mexicans. What's up, Buzzy?
I was just saying real quick, Mexicans also come across at age 65, and somehow they qualify to get Social Security. How they do it, I have no idea. But
and then they go back.
They're not even illegal. Yeah, they're not even legal citizens.
Yeah, so
I got to look that up.
Yeah, I'd have to see some evidence of that, or read
That's
on.
I've heard on other radio shows and stuff, but yeah, you'd have to look it up. I took time to look that one up.
Yeah, that's something I would definitely want to see some evidence on.
If you call and ask anybody, there's lawyers in Miami. That's all they do.
Yeah, I'm sure I can find something. It won't take me, shit, I got nothing to do tomorrow, so it'll take me.
It's a sin. I get that. I get that. And again, I get that's an argument, and that's.
So it's it's a welfare problem. It's not an immigration problem,
right?
Get rid of that shit.
And guess what? We're not going to. Guess what? None of us here sitting in this room are going to have Social Security by the time we get old enough to. Well, you're already on it.
That's why.
So are you saying that the welfare problem is your reasoning for justifying what's going on at the border? Is that what you were getting at?
I'm saying if you took it away, they wouldn't come.
If we took it away from everybody, then.
Exactly.
No.
Oh.
See, for me or Dave, you got to put in so many years before you're fully invested. I think it's 10 or 15 years, ain't it, Dave?
I don't remember. Like, shit, I've been in the workforce 25 years.
Yeah, I've been
before I had
working
to
since I was
tap
12.
out.
So.
But
well, it's based on your income you made in your life.
I know.
No.
Yeah, you get that report
3
every year. Well, you get that report every year that you get in the mail that tells you what you're going to get in disability or Social Security.
Yeah, but if you read through it, I think you got to work here like 10 or 12 years.
Yeah.
You got to put in for it.
I don't know if there's an imbalance of what they give to foreigners before they give to Americans, but I do know that's something that I've been hearing since I'm like 18 years old.
Yeah,
you know?
and I don't get that. I don't understand. I know that the people are receiving it that maybe shouldn't be or haven't put in for it. And that's part of what happens when you have social services. We can go all the way back to the whole friggin' civil rights movement. You know, everybody should have civil rights, but why should others be trampled on because somebody else should have their civil rights? Yeah. So it's a long. It can go to this whole conversation with that could spin me this whole conversation with the LGBT blah 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 community.
Do you know that in colleges now, in these fucking lefty progressive colleges now? The amount of people going in there are so dumb, except for the what do you call them now? Asian
Orientals, the Chinese people, the people with slanty eyes.
Oh no, I would not say that.
I'll say that.
But
Orientals.
Yeah, I don't know which is PC at this point, but those people.
Why do you care?
That's
part of the problem. That is part of the problem right there. You were concerned about how to say something.
Because if I say it wrong right now, it negates. They're Asian. Well, no, see that's a misnomer too. Because Iraq's in Asia or Egypt's in Asia, right?
Oh, it's kind of all encompassing though.
Yeah, but Iraq doesn't have slanty eyes.
So anyway,
Hong Kong police.
It turns out that they're not allowing these smarter, higher intelligent, higher IQ ass kickers into the college because they're skewing the fucking line so much for everyone else.
Right.
So they're like the right and the media are all. I mean these fucking social justice warriors are all inclusive unless you're above them. That's it.
That's all they look at. All right, Starl. Anything else, brother?
Plus, they have cry closets.
No, that's just what I was saying. From all of them that I've met, they're here for the benefits, and they already got family here, so they can send their kids to their family, and then they can take their ass right on back home.
So none of these guys work. None of these guys work. They just come here and get benefits.
What was that, Dave?
I said none of these guys work. They just come here and get benefits, or do they actually work?
No, they work. They work, but they work under the table.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
They get under the table jobs.
He's like, I'm okay with that.
I'm okay with that.
If they're contributing to society, then what's the problem?
Well, it's the benefits.
Well, they're not contributing. I mean, the way they're contributing is okay for $10 an hour. What would you get in a job for $10 an hour?
Probably $7.50 by the time you take it home. He's talking about once you pay taxes and everything, how much you actually make for that $10 an hour. Is that what you're saying, Starl?
They get $10 an hour. They got food stamps. They get Section 8 housing. They get all kinds of other stuff.
They game the system, man, and it so.
And how many?
Do you hate the player or do you hate the game?
And how many Americans, whether they be black, white, or whatever, that are doing the exact same thing, playing the game and gaming the system? I know people that I know personally, Americans that are doing the exact same thing.
They're American citizens.
But most of them, most of the ones I know haven't put shit into it.
They're human beings.
How do they
came here to work and they're just making it work? They're seizing an opportunity. They're going to take what they can get.
Right now,
they're human beings, but they're here illegally.
They're
not deserve.
There's a new thing coming out right now talking about how video games have caused a social imbalance, a problem mentally with people, and people can't get up and go to work because they play video games too much. They have never worked. There's a 25-year-old guy, one of the guys in the story.
My ex-husband was like that.
Yeah, that never worked a day in their life. They never contributed, but yet they're going to be able, because they have a mental issue now because they played too many video games, they're going to be able to go on disability and never put it into the system. That's just as bad as what you guys are talking about the immigrants about.
At least they're
working.
working.
When their belly goes to growling, they go to work.
What was that?
I said, I bet you once their belly goes to growling, they go to work.
Yeah, no, they're getting disability. They're getting food stamps. They're getting cash assistance. That's about to happen.
The parents are helping on that.
See, this is why I'm kind of in favor for this universal basic income, because if the universal basic income comes into play, all that shit goes away.
I'm not for that.
Yeah, no, I'm not for
no,
that
seriously,
either.
it's the lesser. I hate to do this, but it's the lesser of two evils.
Yeah,
because
we don't need that.
if there's a social program where an American gets, let's just say, $2,000 a month, whereas an immigrant can get $2,500 a month because he's an immigrant and gets a different status. That's just the game. The level is not playing. Is
not an even playing field.
Right.
Right.
If you just give everyone $2,500 a month, and
that's all you get.
And that's all you
End
get.
of story. You don't get anything else.
You fucked your teeth up. Too bad.
Yeah,
Take
it's
it.
on
Save.
you.
Right.
Take that $2,500. Figure out.
Right.
Star, I'm gonna cut you loose. I want to get Buzzy's opinion, which I probably can tell you what it is already, but I'll talk to you later, brother. Okay.
The workforce, though.
All right, tell Buzzy birds of a feather flock together.
He heard you.
Right.
Peace out, brother. So Buzzy.
Okay.
I could debate that.
Go ahead.
No,
go ahead.
No, he was debating with Lexi while I was cutting Star all out there. So what did you call for?
Okay, first of all.
Did you get your air conditioner fixed?
Just real quick.
Wait. Did you get your AC fixed?
No, they come out and looked at it today.
Okay.
I'm going to have to replace the whole fucking thing, I guess.
Bullshit. Okay, go ahead.
Which.
Go ahead.
But anyway, just real quick on the social services. Illegals should not be able to collect a dime. They do not deserve it. That's for American citizens. And I don't mind paying welfare for some lazy fuck that don't want to work.
He says that now.
Nowadays, anyway. I don't mind. For the simple fact, we give away billions of dollars to other countries that want to kill us.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to say about that.
Right. We should cut that out, too.
Yeah, absolutely. We shouldn't be sending $1 billion a year to
Exactly.
Israel. Why are we sending all this money to Israel?
Exactly.
But someone that fled here
Well,
with
no matter
their
what
family
country it
to seek a better life and is forced to work under the table because the immigration system takes so long to process and they're in fear of being deported or separated from their family shouldn't receive
shouldn't come here
anything.
and-
But
what
you're
gives them
okay
the
with
right to
everybody
come
else.
over here?
Nobody. No. Well, we were just saying
Why can't they wait in line like the ones that do it legally? Why
Well,
can't
here's
they
the
wait
thing.
their turn?
Here's the thing. Doing it legally is very, very difficult, especially for anybody south of the border. I know somebody north of the border.
Sorry about your luck.
Canadians have a hard time getting in here. A friend of mine is a female, college-educated, registered nurse, top of her game, really does her shit, barely even drinks alcohol, right? Top of her game. Took her 15 fucking years, like $20,000 to become a citizen here, right? I mean, she was
Sorry
here.
about their luck.
But all right, she was able to come here and work, whereas anybody from Mexico can't come up and do that. So that again, I'm looking for a level playing field. Let the
Try being American.
Mexico has a work visa deal. They have the right to come over here during like produce season. I know for one, to come over here, work in the fields, doing the job.
Buzzy wants his broccoli.
The Americans don't want to do.
Maybe
Well,
some
Americans. But wait.
I can tell you firsthand, Guatemalans can't get that.
And Buzzy, let me tell you, hold on. You can't say supposedly Americans don't want to do, because when there was a big crackdown, there wasn't a lot of migrant workers and immigrants coming through. We had shit dying on the vines because Americans didn't want to go out and pick it. So
People from
that's
fucking
proven.
jail.
Exactly.
They took them out of jail
But
to go
they're
work them
also in-
outside,
they're
and they're like, "No, I'm not
also
doing
in
this."
the
No, I don't do
warehouses driving the forklifts. They're behind the desk doing the paperwork.
No, they're not.
That's what jobs Americans will do, but they won't hire them.
Who, Americans?
Yeah.
Or Mexicans? What are you talking
don't
about,
think,
Buzzy?
You wouldn't want to sit on a forklift and load the trucks or do the paperwork behind the counter?
Me? No, not really. I like being outside.
Yeah, I'd rather drive.
A lot of them would.
All right, so we're getting nowhere here.
Granted,
We're not
they probably
solving.
Don't want to. They probably don't want to pick the tomatoes.
We're not solving anything.
I give them that much.
We're not solving anything here, right? What we're doing is we're doing the same thing that everybody
Everybody
does.
else
We're
is doing,
We're
right.
just fucking round robin and talking about.
It doesn't ever get solved.
Yes,
It's,
okay.
it's a
What I-
divisive
what I
issue,
called in
first of
about.
all.
Let's
Yeah,
get
what
back
did you
to
call
what I
about? Go
called in
ahead.
about.
Yes, what is it?
I called about these kids being put in these detention centers, taken away from their parents. All they have to do, Lexi touched on it, is go to a legal border crossing and apply for asylum. And they will be kept together. The kids will be kept together with their parents. And
Only-
they will be basically put in front of the line of all these other illegals crossing
only
illegally.
if they don't have a record previously. Like, let's say they came back again.
Yep.
Secondly, all right. So you know how most of these people come by. There's like no taxi that takes you to the fucking border
Right.
and they let you off. You got to go by what's
Riding on top of trains or whatever it is.
No, there's a coyote. There's
coyotes
that are paid an extreme amount of money for them. For me, I couldn't fucking pay to get across the border, and they bring them across the border illegally and they let them out. And those guys, if they did it legally and took them to the proper spot and asked for asylum, they would lose their money. So it's on both sides of the border that are making this shit happen. And unfortunately, it's the uneducated, immigrant that doesn't know what the fuck they're doing, and they get caught up in all this shit.
Yeah, of course.
Everything about this sucks.
A lot of them want to apply for asylum, but they how am I trying to say this?
I don't know, Buzzy. How are you trying to say this?
They cross the border illegally because they know they will not be able to pass the asylum rules and regulations.
Then they shouldn't be coming here. Then, and that I would agree with.
They're coming here to collect the welfare, like Starro said, and for a better life or whatever from what they had. But you have to do it legally. Without borders, there is no country. I don't care what country it is.
Well, there is a problem. There's definitely a
cannot
problem
move to
going on though,
Australia.
Buzzy. When you've got, like I said before, when you've got 800 to 1,300 plus people trying to come through that port of entry per day, and that's just trying to come through the port of entry. That's not including everybody that's trying to come through the border illegally. That's just through the port of entry. They don't have the staff or the resources to process that many people. So they have to turn around and they have to wait. And a lot of these people are desperate. They've got their children with them. They're starving. They're hungry. Some of them are scared to go back home. You don't know what their situation is. That was their last, straw getting there. I don't know.
So
we're just talking over each other.
So maybe what they should do is make the border agents asylum agents. Anybody they meet, they just process them.
Right. That would be brilliant.
No, that's what they want now. The Democrats are wanting 5,000 more judges for that. No.
Just wait.
Well, how are you supposed to solve the problem then? If you don't have...
You don't let them come... You catch them, you take them back. They come across illegally. They don't go through the port. They come across illegally.
Well, I'm just saying. What I was saying...
Through the woods, whatever. You send them back immediately. You do not catch and release.
So wait a minute. So what you're saying here is, if people are coming to the asylum spot legally, right, and they're doing it legally, what you call legal, right? Why make it only certain spots along the border? Why not make the whole entire border like that? And whatever, like they can come across and they can go talk to border agents. Like, yeah, I'm here to seek asylum, and then they
we don't have enough border agents to do that.
Well, didn't you just say they were Democrats wanted more judges and agents?
Yeah,
that way we don't have to pay for fucking Walmarts to be converted into prison camps, into concentration camps.
Forever.
We don't got to worry about the fucking jail cells. We're not going to worry about it'll eliminate so much fucking overhead.
I'm so over being right about the wrong things. That's all I want to say, Buzzy. We will talk to you again soon. Hopefully they don't rape you with that air conditioner. I gave you all the advice I could on that one. I wish I lived closer to you because I could help you out. I'm sure.
No, they're not going to rape me. I'm sure. It's old and. I'm sure. I trust them.
It's just like you. Maybe we should replace you.
There is no easy answer.
Yeah, that's true.
You're right, Buzz. And we can go circle, circle, circle. I got to go pee. I want to take a break. You know what that means, right, Buzz?
Come on.
All the way to the mother. See me later.
I know. Not goddamn rats.
I just wanted to take the time to write this to you myself because I think you get a bum rap. People always got something negative to say about you, man. I don't get it. I mean, you guys do a great job. We should be more appreciative. I can't believe people say you a hater just because we called for help and you came an hour later. Maybe you was extra busy stopping criminal acts. Some even said you pull people over because they black. All of y'all do a great job keeping your scope on us, and I refuse to believe you would plant some dope on us. They had to be wrong if you busted in their residence. They even lied and said you created fiction, no evidence. I gotta commend how you handle situations. Shot a youngster, beat his mama and got a paid vacation. I know it's hard being you, so why would they question? In everything you do, we know it's all for our protection. Passing through our neighborhood, spying at night. Some consider it harassment and denying our rights. You had to have a good reason for attempting to hurt us, cause I know that y'all would never ever do it on purpose. Dear Mr. Policeman, why is everybody tripping? I just don't understand. I know you out here in the streets doing the best that you can. If I could meet you face to face, I would shake your hand. Dear Mr. Policeman, why is everybody tripping? I just don't understand. I know you out here in the streets doing the best that you can. If I could meet you face to face, I would shake your hand. Dear Mr. Policeman, them tickets you wrote for me costed over $1,000. Didn't think that I was speeding, but you got me because. And since I know you wouldn't tell a lie, I guess that I was kinda struggling, so to not pay them is threatening my freedom. Thanks for showing up to court to make sure I didn't beat them. And we don't make it easy when we see y'all coming. Instead of just letting you beat us, we be struggling and running. I know you hate it when we make you have to use that stick. And by the way, that taser and that pepper spray did the trick. I'm still walking funny. Hope my vision kicks back in. I know that I was wrong, sir. I'll never jaywalk again. Somebody told me you was jealous cause their car was brand new. I said the police jealous? That can never be true. Maybe one day I can be as clever as you. You care about us, so you monitor whatever we do. Ha! Dear Mr. Policeman, why is everybody tripping? I just don't understand. I know you out here in the streets doing the best that you can. If I could meet you face to face, I would shake your hand. Dear Mr. Policeman, why is everybody tripping? I just don't understand. I know you out here in the streets doing the best that you can. If I could meet you face to face, I would shake your hand. Pardon me, Mr. Policeman. These cuffs are cutting off the blood flow to my hands. It's amazing how you kicked that dude all in his face and beat the case, even though they had it all on tape. I know you love the people in the hood. How could you fake it? And that missing drug money, I know you didn't take it. I don't understand why people accuse you of hate. I know you only follow us to make sure that we safe. I saw 9 of y'all against 1, beating the brainless. That 65-year-old woman must have really been dangerous. Cleaning up the streets is your top priority. You qualify for this, why would we question your authority? You only working hard following training. Why the hell are the Mexicans and blacks complaining? You gotta be the closest thing I've seen to perfect. And everybody that you locked up, they had to deserve it, yeah. Dear Mr. Policeman, why is everybody tripping? I just don't understand. I know you out here in the streets doing the best that you can. If I could meet you face to face, I would shake your hand. Dear Mr. Policeman, why is everybody tripping? I just don't understand. I know you out here in the streets doing the best that you can. If I could meet you face to face, I would shake your hand.
Have you ever called into your favorite talk radio program only to encounter this and felt like this? That never happens when you dial 941-421-0401. At RazRadioLive.com, we answer right away. And pow, you're live on the air talking to one of your favorite hosts. No screeners, no delays. Try it now. 941-421-0401 and avoid 941-421-0401. If you're a new listener or a seasoned veteran, don't be scared. 941-421-0401. We welcome all. We know how it feels to be ignored. RazRadioLive.com.
myself There's no turning back, things will never be the same. Yellow ribbons turn gray, patriotic cliches. Like a fatal car crash, can't seem to look away. I don't know what's before me, I've died inside. But from my rebirth, I see with brand new eyes. The media lies, the government spies. Free world controlled by devils in disguise. The television flickers at rates to hypnotize. That's retained by the picture MSG supersize. Another mother cries for her son's lost life. Political greed breeds another genocide. No choices left, stand up and fight. Divided we fall, but united we survive. Now it's time to put the money and the bitches to the side. You'll never truly come up when you live a servant's life.
I hurt myself today to see if I still feel. I focus on the pain, the only thing
to the grave. I'd rather die free than live like a slave. I'd rather speak my mind, I won't bite my tongue. If you think I've said it all, I haven't even begun. They bring it to your knees with disease and vaccines. Another line of credit, the American dream. Ron Paul revolution, 20 million scream. But it doesn't really matter to the voting machines. Now they censor this on YouTube, labeled it extreme. Bernanke and his lackeys, printing phony green. Hit us with inflation, annihilate the nation. No investigation of the Bush administration. Obama runs on change, Brzezinski's in his ear. The only thing that changes is the puppet in the year. They open up the borders, truth is on our shoulders. Focus on the pain, this is the new world order. Order.
I hurt myself today to see if I still feel. I focus on the pain, the only thing that's real. I hurt myself today to see if I still feel. I focus on the pain, the only thing that's real.
Control.
Being a cat can be damn tedious. People dangling bells and bits of string in your face all the time. Just be a dog. Run around, catch frisbees, pee on a fire hydrant. Life's more rewarding, and you get access to lots of treats. Catch Salty Talk Mondays and Wednesdays, and every Friday for Salty's Weekend Warm-Up, 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Add a little salt to your life, and be more dog.
Dude, I had a really bad experience recently at the weed store. Anybody? Anybody have their card? Not you. Anybody? You have your card, right? Just one person has their card? Just you? And you? You guys, people smoke weed, raise their hands a little later than the rest of us, don't they? You smoke weed? Yeah. Here's the deal. I went into the weed store, and anybody had the edibles? Yes. Woo! Okay. So for those of you who don't know, the edibles kind of fuck you up. I did not know that. So I went in. Now listen, something you need to know about me is I fucking love blueberry muffins. So I walk into the weed store and I'm like, are those blueberry muffins? And the guy was like, yeah. And I said, does that have weed in it? And he said, yeah. And I was like, I'll have a blueberry muffin. So my weed store has like a little area where you can smoke and watch DVDs and shit. And I just put in Chappelle season 1. Fucking great. And I'm literally licking my fingers when the guy runs in. He goes, "You didn't eat that whole muffin, did you?" Huh? Tell me you didn't eat that whole muffin right now, all at once, did you? And I was like, yeah. And he goes, all right, listen, and I'm not fucking around right now. Either give me the keys to your car or drive home right now. And I said, what? And he goes, I'm telling you, leave here right now or prepare to be here for 8 hours. I was like, are you kidding me? He goes, you ate that whole muffin, man. He goes, I own this place. I would only eat half if I was at home. I was like, fuck me. He was right. I was high for 8 hours. That's one of those highs where you're like, I have kids, man. I had to pull one of these. I walked into the house. I was like, Daddy's sick. Don't come in the room. Click. And then I peeked my head out. I was like, no matter what you hear from this room, do not come in here. It was bad. Except like an hour later, I was like, except I could use some orange juice.
This is Bob Tuskin from the IntelHub.com. You're listening to the First 52 on RAS Radio.
All right, guys, welcome back. First 52, RazRadioLive.com, Twitch TV /SeanRaz1. If you want to watch us, see what we're doing. It's kind of interesting to watch sometimes. Right, honey?
You're a dork.
What?
I know the lyrics to the song.
Oh, do you? Uh-oh, here we go.
I am your freakazoid. Come on and turn me on. All right, turn it off.
I thought you knew the words.
That's basically the same thing.
You weren't here. You weren't in studio the night I went in the rap thing. I don't even think you were on with us. And Lexi's like, "What the hell was that?" Do you remember that night?
Yes.
It was like, what was that? Joy and Pain or something. Like I did the whole first thing of it.
What is this, like 1982, 83?
Roller skating music.
Yeah.
I miss roller skating.
I can't.
It's actually what I Googled or YouTubed.
Does it in the descriptions? Does it tell you what year it is? It came out.
That would be out of my sight.
Yeah, me too.
Let's see here. 80s, I want to say.
Yeah, it doesn't say anything. Now I gotta Google it.
What did I type in here? Old school roller skating songs. Old school roller skating songs. If you want to get this kind of great music here.
Knock on wood.
What's the next one here? What's this one here? Let's do music review real fast. Oh, that's that again. What's this one?
It was only one song, though.
No, it's a whole thing. See? This is the other one.
Oh, let the music play.
Yeah, you know this one.
Yeah.
The First 52 music review. Old school roller skating songs. That's the way we do it here on the First 52. Get your shuffle going. Get your skates on. You want to have a lot of fun with your girl. Backward skating time.
We're just kidding.
Hit the post like a boss, motherfucker.
Oh.
What, honey?
No.
What do we got next here? What's the next one? I bet you White Lines is on this list somewhere. What do you think? You think White Lines is on there?
Oh, shit.
Freestyle. Don't stop the rock.
This is like 80,
right here at Esham Skating Rink.
82.
It's time to do a little couple skating. Have some fun with it. As we go down through tonight on RazRadioLive.com, First 52, we're going to have a little fun. Twitch TV /SeanRaz1.
I have stuff to do, so.
You don't have anything to do. We're not done with this yet. Shuffle time going.
20 years older
It's
than her.
time to do your skating.
Waddle daddle.
Anyway.
Click on. I just for shits and giggles, I got to see the next one.
Which one? This one here?
I don't know. Just whatever's next on the list.
Freestyle, the blah, salt and pepper. I see some salt and pepper on there.
Yeah, but I want to know. I want to see things that I haven't heard
All right,
in
hold on.
30 years.
Freestyle. What are we on here? We're on freestyle,
We're on
so that's this
freestyle.
one here. Salt and pepper.
Oh, salt and pepper. Let's push it. All right.
Yeah, push it.
We
You
know
got
this
no
one.
push it. That was deleted. What else we got here? Anything else interesting?
I
I know
can't-
White Line's got to be on there somewhere. Vanilla Ice. How about some Ice Ice Baby?
This video contains content.
We can't watch it here in America.
Oh.
Ooh, Tone Loc. Oh, yeah, that was another one. Anyway, all right, enough with the music review.
Thank you.
Immigration is over.
Oh my God.
We're not going to discuss immigration
I was giving
anymore.
it about 10 more seconds.
Before you were going to walk out on us here?
Yes.
Oh, come on, honey. Crawl out. I didn't even have you guys on the screen, honestly. Now you're on the screen. All right, so the immigration debate's over. I think really what we came to is that we're not going to solve the problem having conversation, arguments, or
I kind of
anything
like
else.
where our conversation went, though, because at the end of our conversation, we actually talked about possible solutions or ways to create improvements
Yes, we
upon
did.
what's going on right now. And I think that's what's getting missed on social media is everybody gets so busy arguing that they don't even realize they're no longer debating.
Right, it's
and,
not-
and it's all semantics at that point.
Right, it's an outrage thing, right? One
Right.
side outrages the other side, so the other side responds back, and it's just fucking fake outrage.
So let's talk about the next fake outrage coming up. Fortoad, you asked me going into the break there what I thought the next thing was going to be, and I said I don't know. But I think I have a good idea, and you brought it up already. This was talked about in the beginning of the show. Space Force. All right.
Yeah, but that's easily shot down.
But-
I read about it. It's not that big a deal.
This is that's where I want to go. But this is going to be the new outrage because everybody's Trump wants to invade space now, and Trump is Nazi because he wants to invade space, and what's he going to space for? Blah blah blah. Well, let's all keep in mind that this has been a conversation that has been going on very easily since at least Reagan, if not even before
Yeah,
then.
Does no one remember Star Wars?
Right, Star Wars
Well,
systems.
this is a result. What's happening now? This is a result of
Uh,
another
hold on, I'm
social
sorry.
media issue, and that.
I'm sorry, you missed a phone call again.
Oh, sorry. All right,
But it
go ahead.
has to do with another social media issue where people are just seeing snippets of articles over and over. They're inundated with it to the point where they're just reading the headlines and scrolling through their
Right.
shit, and then they're formulating an opinion off of just that. With nobody goes in depth anymore on something they want to actually talk about. They just immediately snap to.
Eric, I'm
It's
paying
this
attention to the screen now, so if you want to call
bullshit,
back again, go ahead.
basically.
Right. Do you know how many headlines I've read, or you know how many times I've seen somebody say, "Oh my God, this is horrible," right? The headline says, just recently. So here in Florida, we had somebody at the Department of Agriculture stopped checking one of the background checks for a year, right?
Right, we talked about that
Dereliction of
briefly
duty.
last
Right.
week, I think.
But one of the articles I read, Florida sold guns with no background
To
check.
illegal immigrants.
Right, exactly. Right, to Florida gave guns to those kids in the fucking detention center.
Right.
Right. That's basically what it's seriously. Florida sold guns with no background checks, and I was like, this is it is so false. And it was actually a fairly legit source. I don't remember exactly what it was, but I was like,
It was Wall Street Journal or something. I remember the article that you're
Right,
talking about.
So you know how in an article you could actually
that's
scroll,
hot.
you can scroll to the bottom and try to comment, but you got to log in with some shit. It
Right.
was the first time in fucking 20 years I logged in and commented. I was like, this is so false.
First time in 20 years?
First, because I never.
And you had to leave a comment.
I
You
had to
could
leave a
not.
comment. Right. I never leave comments on websites because you got to use your email address and all that shit. I guard my email address almost like my social security number.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever left a comment on anything online.
I have. I pushed buttons at like cop stories
because I don't
before.
want to go through that process.
Right.
I'm like, oh, should I have to subscribe to? No.
Right.
No, I don't want to do that tonight.
Yeah.
No, they're gonna do it.
I don't really care that much about
Yeah, I
saying what
know.
I got to say.
All right, so I finally answered the phone. I got him here. Eric, how are you doing tonight? We're doing good. We're doing good.
Hey.
Great.
It's just fingers. I just realized. Is this fingers? All right, there we go. I don't know why you're in the Skype as Eric in Arizona instead of fingers. Everybody's changing their names. You know what? You all got to stop changing your mother effing names on me, please. I can't do with all these different names.
Right. Sean has these things with appendages. He keeps calling me Four-Toed Jones and wants to call you Fingers.
Realistically, he's like an 80-year-old squirrel.
Funny as fuck. All right, brother, go ahead. Yep. Yeah, where they think they're finding some child sex ring sections and different things like that. Yeah, and it's nice to see that happening. And I know there's a lot of questions behind that. A lot of people have changed their stories. I've seen many different links and stories. Dave, have you followed this Veterans on Patrol at all?
No, not at all. No. I haven't heard about it at all. And I like that it's a voluntary force.
As an oath keeper, it comes across my feed because a lot of people that are oath keepers are sharing a lot of that information, things like that.
A voluntary force could actually do something for good?
Yeah, and they're going around and allegedly they found
and they're not shooting people.
They haven't. I don't believe they shot anybody yet.
Why? I wonder why that is.
But they found allegedly a sex trading camp.
Wow!
Yeah, imagine that, right?
Voluntary. Wow, love that.
That's a good way to solve things.
Right, you can kill the welfare state, and look what will crop up. Guarantee you, some rich fucking Mexican would build centers all across the border to help people process in for the proper way. Motherfuckers.
That's a good thing. All right. So So you're actually going to go out there and put your money where your mouth is, or your body where your mouth is, and do something and help out. Nice, man. And that's the way you know what? That's one of the biggest things we could do to move this country forward. If we would all just, and I've been saying it for years, if we could all just remember we're all human beings, and we can work together and do things together. We can make a big change if we forget about the color, if we forget about the national origin, if we forget about even the sexual preference. You know, I really don't care if you're gay, if you're lesbian, if you think you're a homophobic dog. I don't give a fuck, honestly. You can be whatever you want to be. Just don't shove it up my fucking nose constantly. That's my biggest issue now with it. Is it's like, I know the gay pride, this is gay pride month. I mean, everybody has a month but white people. Imagine if I said, hey, it's white people month, I'd be a fucking racist. Imagine if I did that. You know, what if I say it's straight people pride month? I'd be a racist. I'd be a homophobe. I'd be a whatever
right, it's
else.
Pride when everybody else does it. But when a white person does it, it's racist.
Right, and I don't mean it that way. Yeah, fuck. I'm Italian, Mexican, and Irish, and that's what I base myself off of. You want to call me white, that's fine. But most of my blood is not white. The only white is the Irish, and I mean, they were treated as slaves just as well as anybody else. So, all right, brother. Talk to you later. Sound like you had something going on in the background there. But you know, you get my point, though, right? He was like, "Oh, now we're getting a racist conversation. I don't want to be involved in this."
The thing is, when there is, all right. So Morgan Freeman said it best. Somebody asked him, "What do you think about Black History Month being like the shortest month?" Right, and he was like, I don't think there should be a Black History Month.
Right.
I think it should be, if anything, just an American History Month. You know, because I really believe this, that once you start going off on these little these little things like I'm this, I'm that, I'm celebrating it. Like I am mostly.
I don't celebrate anything.
I don't give a fuck about anything.
Right.
I don't even give a shit about Father's Day. Right. Like you said earlier, it was
the Hallmark holiday.
Hallmark
Right,
holiday.
exactly.
Right. I get nothing for it other than just trying to be a good dad. I don't.
You know what really makes me mad? And I'm going to say this one because it happened. You know what makes me mad on Father's Day and on Mother's Day? Because you don't see it on Mother's Day quite as much, but I have seen it done on Mother's Day. What drives me nuts on Father's Day is when everybody posts about the single moms should be recognized on Father's Day because they do both roles. But we have Mother's Day.
You never see that for the single dad.
I have. We know somebody who's just a dick. He might be listening. It's a long dick. If you can take my reference to figure it out. Who he posted that in jest on Mother's Day. But Richard Longdick? Longwood.
Oh, okay.
God damn. I kind of really did that real smooth and you didn't even get it.
Well, because I didn't see him do it, and I think him and I are usually at odds. So
no, I don't think so.
But whatever.
I think you might be every once in a while. But anyway.
Anyway, but my whole point was, I think we should get away from this heritage, thing that I'm this, I'm that.
Heritage is good. Heritage is okay, and you should have your heritage, and you should remember your heritage.
Did you see what happened in L.A. when fucking Mexico won over the World Cup?
They
went fucking nuts.
That's stupidity.
They went fucking nuts.
That is just stupidity. That is not having heritage. All right, look at they had to grease the poles in Philly for when the Eagles won the Super Bowl.
Exactly.
All right, all right. So that's not heritage. Yeah, but that's stupidity.
But here's the thing: when I was in Guatemala for a solid year,
right,
I missed the 4th of July. Did I fucking want to go with a flag and set off fireworks? Because I could buy some crazy ass fireworks down there, right? Did I even do Thanksgiving? I did amongst people, but I didn't have any. It was for a year now. I didn't get to see really much national or U.S. pride, and I fucking loved it. I saw a ton of religious pride and Guatemalan pride too, because there was one day.
Well, religion's big down there, and that's a sin too.
They're always fucking.
They could advance so much further if they'd let go of their religion. I think so much could advance so much more further.
That
if
could
they'd
be
let go
said
of
about
religion.
any religion, and I believe governments are a religion. And yeah, that's another thing. I think if you have this
that was a good drop. It was like chemtrails, right? As you said, I believe.
If you have this ideology that cannot be shaken, and
right.
you will not allow any other mindset in, I think that's dangerous.
Very dangerous. I mean, that's how, most people forget. And I hate to get into this conversation. Most people forget that Hitler in his early days was 100% supported by a lot of people in the U.S. Businesses, government people.
Time magazine,
Man of the Year was Hitler, exactly.
Yeah. Right.
So
well,
everybody forgets that because if you look at it, and I saw this, I forget. I wish I knew who made this comment. Actually, I think I made a screenshot of it. If you really look at where we're at in history, from World War II, from the beginning, mid World War II till today, our history is skewed. The victors always write the history books, and now I'm going to be anti-Semitic because I'm saying this, and I'm not saying that that things didn't happen. I'm saying that things will be exaggerated, things will be stretched, things will be changed in order to make the narrative wanted move forward.
Right. They want to look good. They never tell you what's bad. I mean, they say we came in at the last second. Was it World War II? And was it 2 or 1?
2. 1 was actually
whichever one we got. We matched up with the Russians. I guess it was with Germany. Yeah. So the Russians, there was like 50 million people, some shit like that. It was, and they charged so hard because it was do or die. And then the Americans come in at the last fucking couple months, right? And then they take credit for the whole thing. But meanwhile, the Russians were already pushing back. All these things started to happen, and I'm starting to see that anytime that there's something going on, and the ball goes one way or the other, they get in on the other side, and we helped them, and it's just like. That's the American military's mind frame, a mindset.
The military-industrial complex must always be paid for. That goes to the space thing. Let's hit that real fast, and I want to move on to the next one. But this Space Force thing, Everybody's making a big deal about it. I think we started on it and we spun off. We squirreled a lot tonight. When we listen
You
back
always
to
do
this,
that, though.
Yeah, I know.
I'm
I do
sober
that
now.
in life.
It's kind of your fault. Like Eric was on one topic and you drifted off into racism
Yeah.
speaks.
Well, I wasn't speaking racism though. Like I wasn't trying to be
Well,
racist.
Whatever. I don't want to go back into it.
I'm just
No,
saying.
No, that's not what I meant.
Typically,
to do.
you're driving
Space program.
the tangent bus off the tracks or off the road.
So the space program, like I said, everybody thinks that Star Wars. Everybody thinks is a new thing, and Trump's just coming up with this. Even
Right.
if you go back to the Obama administration, you can find conversations about security in space.
Right.
They didn't call it the Space Force, but I seem to remember hearing this a year and a half, 2 years ago. Exact thing, Space Force. So it's not like it wasn't there being presented.
Wouldn't it be the natural progression of things, right? Because
Well, yeah, we need to
because
secure
there's
that.
SpaceX. Now all these other countries are actually coming up with space programs, and
Civilians or companies are
Right.
developing it. So yeah, you have to have control there.
I heard one thing. Oh yeah, of course we got to come up with the Space Force to keep all the fucking civilians out. And I was like, that makes sense.
Well, and listen, you can't think there's not aliens, and they're going to be here eventually.
No, I believe that interstellar traveling is something almost impossible to do.
You don't think there's a species thousands of years more advanced than we are because they've been
But
around longer?
I don't think they're either living yet or they've lived way in the past and something's already happened. Supernova's taking them out, whatever. So I think because we got to remember, it's what they say the universe 3.5 billion years old, right? We've been around for 200,000 years as Homo erectus, right?
Right.
That's a blip on the timeline.
On that whole thing,
right?
absolutely.
So, I certainly believe there are civilizations living somewhere else along this whole 3.5 billion year timeline. But
do you think there's alternative dimensions, alternative realities?
No.
No,
I don't really buy into that whole side by side. There's another version of me somewhere else. I just
No.
I
I hope
think
not. That would be horrible.
Yeah, it just doesn't make sense to me. But here's the thing: traveling, it takes light. So far, we only know one thing that goes the speed of light, and that's light. It takes light.
Thank you for being so
years to get here.
Brad's mom there
at 186,000 miles per hour. Right? It's or 300,000 kilometers per hour. Right? To get a. This is what the current science is. To get a piece
our current science.
A piece of dust to accelerate to the speed of light will take every bit of energy in the universe. Right? This
as
is
far
something
as we know.
Right. So maybe there's some other thing.
There could be some kind of weird crystal out there that is more powerful than the entire universe.
Right, but
on a cat's neck.
But all right, so so just let's see, we get into a spaceship that can go just under the speed of light, sublight speed.
Right.
Your body gets ripped apart. If I put you in a fast fucking car, right, your body hits the thing.
You have
and we're only doing 20 miles an hour.
If you have the technology to develop the speed of light travel, you have the technology to develop counter gravity.
Yeah, you're talking about the Heisenberg compensator, which is a Star Trek thing.
I didn't know that.
I think that's
but
a
okay.
Heisenberg compensator.
I didn't know that, honestly. I was just saying, if you're smart enough to travel at that speed, I'm sure you're smart enough to develop something.
Everybody in the
that's
ship would
going
fucking
to-
hit the wall if they hit light speed.
Right.
And it'd just be, and to get us up to that speed, it's just the science of it just doesn't seem to be there yet. But then again, maybe there are some things, I don't know. Maybe, all right, so the last Star Trek Discovery.
Thank you for joining the Big Bang Theory of RazRadioLive.com.
You want to
First
talk about
52.
Star Wars, right? And then you went monkey, you drove the bus on fucking aliens.
Oh, now we're going monkey. What are we on, Planet of the Apes? Oh, wait, that's racist. Sorry. I didn't mean to say that. You can't say Planet of the Apes anymore.
Well, you just can't call somebody black and say Planet of the Apes.
I'm sorry, she looked like it.
Oddly enough.
Oh
Here
my
we go.
God.
We're tangent monkeying again. So Joe Rogan was up on this the entire time.
On what?
Because he's
bar
friends
thing?
with Roseanne Barr,
Right, right.
He was going to have her on the show a couple days later, and he talked about it like the day after it happened with his friends. He goes, yeah. He says, first of all, this is where I first heard that she was on Ambien, drinking an Ambien, right? And smoking pot, right? Which is...
Didn't we talk about Ambien earlier? Oh, no, that's all. I can't tell you. Yeah. Go ahead.
So he said, and she says that I didn't think she was black. I thought she was Jewish. Look at her. And remember the first night we talked about it?
Buzzy sent us that
sent a
picture. Yep.
And I was like,
well,
she kind of does,
In all technicality, she's not African American. She's Iranian.
No, her parents are both black.
She's black.
She was
but
born in Iran.
She's Iranian.
No, she was born in Iran. by two black parents. Look it up.
Are her black parents from Africa America?
One of them was from London. The other one's from America. They would just happen to be in Iran at the time.
Okay, so wait, London and America.
They might.
So they're not African Americans. They're Londonese.
They're black, you motherfucker. All right, so she's legit black. All right.
So loud.
It was loud.
Because you're an asshole.
I know that.
She's legit black.
You
right?
realize
but,
that the people that
but
hang out with our station
at.
are called razzholes, and you're telling me I'm an asshole? You don't think I didn't
The
know this
Godfather
already?
So it's a legit thing that she might have fucked up, you know.
Right.
And it's sad, but I don't think her. I think her tweet was designed to be mean, but I don't think. It was
I don't think. Yeah,
I don't think
agree.
it was designed to be racist at
I
this
agree.
point, you know, because Rogan again has said so much shit about her.
I thought that since the beginning. I really thought since the beginning it wasn't intent. It was intended to be a joke.
Listen,
Yeah.
since when have comedians been held up to the standard
I
of
don't
having
know.
to be
Since
fucking
Me Too.
sensitive?
Since Me Too.
I mean, go
honestly.
back 5 years, go back 10 years.
Didn't I say about
People said whatever the fuck they wanted to, especially if they were a comedian. I
Right.
mean, they were ripping you a new asshole.
Right? Didn't I mention Lisa Lampanelli? Right.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
then did you just see last week that they fucking roasted her? She just went nuts, and now she's on the shit list.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
she looked really bad. She was better looking thicker, honestly. I hate to say that because I know Baba Army type thing is she's connected to that and all, but
she's kind of like the Andrew Dice Clay thing. Andrew Dice Clay is fucking hysterical. For a year and a half. You know, that's Lisa Lampanelli. Hysterical for a year and a half, 2 years, probably even a little bit longer, right?
She's been around for a while.
But now the Queen of Mean is over with.
Right. Well,
you know?
in this, unfortunately, in this day and age, with everybody getting offended with if you, I can't.
Well,
if you sneeze wrong, people get offended. It's fucking ridiculous, honestly.
There must-
I'm vulgar. I'm mean.
What are you
I'm
talking
nasty.
about? There's so many fucking people beating the shit out of fucking conservatives on a daily basis, talking shit about Trump. You know
mean, angry.
All one of the every one of the fucking tonight late night shows, the monologue just beats the shit out of Donald Trump and you know those people that are in charge. Now again, I don't agree with them. I don't like them. I think they're all fucking assholes. But it's they get to beat the shit out of everybody. But when somebody bites back, they're like, "Oh, you're a racist. You're this. You're that."
Right.
You know. But meanwhile, you know.
Well, as I've said
I gotta
before,
go back. I gotta leave this country.
As I've said before, you know, my biggest thing is none of my family lived here during slavery days. None of them. Some of my family were Irish that came over, that were kind of semi-slave. You know, they were beat. They had a hard time. It was a bad life. Excuse me, and that's what people go through. You know, and to think that I am expected to give reparations because slavery existed before my heritage ever got here.
Yeah.
You know, but you benefited off the hands of that. But wait, how is that?
Let's think of it this way. All right, let's go back and let's say slavery never was an issue. There was no slave trade.
Slavery's still going on right now.
Hold-
Africans are still being
Sean,
traded out.
Focus.
I can't do that.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Suppose there was no such thing as slave trade in the United States, and they paid people, they paid the people that came over here on a boat to pick the cotton, right?
Right.
There'd be no fucking black people in the United States.
But they did pay them because they gave them room, board, food.
No, that's the
that didn't
socialist
happen?
way. That's the socialist way. Is where all your labor goes to pay for everyone else's thing. But
Some people want us to be a
all right,
socialist country.
Let's look at another indigenous population that is
Indians?
No.
No.
Australian Aborigines.
Okay.
How many of them do you see here?
Not many. None.
Because on the other side of the planet.
Right.
So there was no Australian Aborigine slave trade. Guess what? You don't see any of them here. So let's go back and say if there was no slave trade, there would be no black people. This would be a 100% white and Hispanic country.
I don't know. At this point in time, I don't believe that because we were a country of immigration. So even if there was no slave trade, I think people would have traveled here because it's not a far travel from from Africa.
Yeah, but
across that border, everybody was coming from that area anyway. So maybe they would have came just to get away from prosecution.
Was it with the slaves? Again, the slave trade. Were they trading in people that owned businesses and lived in houses, or were they going after the ones that lived in huts and shit?
How about who traded them? The people that were selling them to the white man on the boat were their tribe leaders that were capturing other tribes.
Well, this is true, right? So
who?
And one of the first slave owners in this country who happened to be black. What I'm
maybe
saying
you should travel back there and deal with the people that put you in that position. Then
They don't-
see you
that's
can
right.
never end what happened in history.
Right.
Take history, embrace history, learn from history.
Right.
Don't erase history, which we're starting to do. You have to embrace it and move on from it.
Here's the thing: is somebody made a comment that the people that are doing shit today that are going to have statues, in
Right.
40 years from now, are going to have them all
They're
taken
going
down.
to tear them down.
Yeah.
Speaking of tearing down statues, what's up, Wayne? I don't know. It was just a good segue. Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, blacks would have been here because you got Africans coming here from Africa. You got Jamaicans coming here. You got whatever. black
Wait,
people are.
Jamaicans were part of the slave trade. Jamaicans
Well,
are
yeah,
Jamaicans
so-
because they're part of the slave
my
trade.
point is that America probably would have been. It might not have been so bountiful. Without slavery.
Is my mic on?
Yeah, you're on.
All right, because I can't hear myself.
Yes, one day.
Did you hear my analogy about? Do you see how many Australian Aborigines are here? I'm sure they got
No, I
jobs.
didn't hear
All right,
Well,
so
what Wayne said that without slavery, the U.S. may not have been as bountiful.
Bountiful, right? Yeah, it wouldn't.
That's what
have
Wayne
been.
said.
Yeah.
So maybe slavery needed to happen in
I don't
order
know.
for the growth. Is that what you're saying, Wayne?
Well, probably yeah. Because you think about it, when Lincoln made the emancipation, why did he do that? When he emancipated slavery, he was trying to break down the economics of the cotton industry, and he knew that in order for the South to rise again, it couldn't rise again without money. So that's why he made. That's why he made. And speaking of which, today today is Juneteenth. You ever heard of Juneteenth?
No, I've never heard of that. What is that?
You've never heard of Juneteenth?
No, I've never heard of Juneteenth.
It's a day that when black people, black people.
Well, I'm white,
like,
Wayne. That might be why I never heard of it. Just saying, brother. I love you.
Right. The slaves were freed in 1863. That's when Lincoln, quote unquote, freed the slaves, right?
Right.
But some slaves didn't find out until 1865 because the Union Army marched into these towns one by one, one town. We just go. What you say, Lexi?
It was like 2 years later.
yeah, well, because
Right.
they didn't have smartphones.
Yeah, we didn't have cell phones and
Right, yeah.
Right.
So anyway, the Union Army marched into these towns saying, hey, you guys are free. And he was like, what? It's like, no, we got to pick master cotton. No, there's no more master. So you don't have to pick his cotton no more. So anyway, it wasn't until June 17th when everybody realized that, hey, we weren't slaves anymore. But that's beside the point because the Constitution was not ratified until December 6th, so the Constitution wasn't really ratified with all the states, to sign on to it until December 6th. So, technically, it was really December 6th is really the free day when blacks were really free.
You saying the Constitution or the Constitutional Amendment?
Amendment, yeah, the amendment
All right.
wasn't ratified.
All right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because
thank you, Dan.
the Emancipation Proclamation only freed the slaves in the North. Had nothing to do with the South. Because
Right.
Because the South was producing
No, 'cause
part. They needed the textiles and the East.
No, because the South was a different
Right, and
country. It was a new
It was
country.
in Norfolk, and it was Newport News in Norfolk, Virginia, and Louisiana.
So what? I don't remember. Was it 11 states seceded from the United States from the
Yeah,
Union?
but we're talking even after all
No,
that.
I'm taking this opportunity to say how bad fucking Lincoln was. I mean,
Lincoln was a piece
Right,
of shit.
yeah, he was 6'3" faggy. So he only manipulated.
No, he
He
imprisoned.
only manipulated the freedom. Yeah,
He imprisoned journalists that wrote against the war. He and you could look this up. This is verifiable, right?
Right.
He doesn't like black people, right? He just wanted, his only goal was to keep the Union together. So he did what every politician does. He uses a hot button issue to start a war and then fight to get them back. You know what his solution was with all the black people? Send them to Madagascar. Right. If you read his first inauguration speech,
Well, that's why they made Chicago,
as against his second inaugural speech. They're quite opposite. I think the first one was like, "Yeah, I don't give a shit what you do with your slaves." Right. And, I'm obviously not saying verbatim, but he used the divisive issue of slavery to his benefit to keep the Union together.
Wayne, let me ask you a question.
Right.
I've heard this.
Yeah,
I've heard this before, man. And I want to. I like to learn about things, right? So a lot of people will say that a lot of the slaves at the time, like you pretty much went to, I got to pick master's cotton. There's no cotton to pick. That's why we ended up with the areas like Chicago, like Baltimore, like Detroit. A lot of the black population was pushed into these areas on purpose. I mean, I still believe, crack cocaine was developed on purpose to affect the black population. I believe that
was proven, actually. Yeah. CIA in Central Los Angeles.
Right.
Central Los Angeles.
Right, exactly. And the pushing of the minorities into these areas in order to cause the turmoil has been planned for decades and decades and decades. Now, do you believe in that? Do you think that's all, something that could be going on?
I do. I believe it to a certain extent. However, now, looking at gentrification, they're trying to get blacks out of these centralized areas, like particularly like Washington, D.C. That's a good example. I went to D.C. a couple months ago. I used to work in D.C. I worked in D.C. for, I think, 5 years, but I haven't been in 10. So I went back to D.C. a couple months ago, and I was like, whoa. It was like this, what's the college down there? Howard University. Howard University is on a street called Georgia Avenue. It's like the ghetto. But you go up like a block north of Howard University, it's all white people now. I'm like, wow. And that's gentrification. In fact, it's a lawsuit, this lawyer trying to sue two past mayors of D.C. for gentrifying D.C. But but like you said, Sean, I do believe they just put these people, they put people in these cities and centralize these cities and say, hey, let's just, basically round them up and keep them all together and put them in these cities. But these cities tend to grow. They had grown.
Right.
And then they became like economic, hubs.
In order for people to take over an area, in order for domination of an area, sometimes to buy it cheap, you have to destroy the value of it. So you put a minority in there, you put them in a situation where there's problems.
No, it's not that
it's proven
advanced.
It's happened in You look at California. There's areas of California.
Who puts somebody in a house?
Listen.
I don't think it's orchestrated
What
Wayne is talking about. No, what Wayne is talking about right there.
Story RoboCop, wasn't it?
No.
They
I'm
said,
dead
"Let's tear the city
serious.
down."
No, I'm dead serious. What you're talking about, the gentrification and all that.
Right.
You force people in there, right? You take away the property value because look at Camden, New Jersey. Right. Camden, New Jersey, in the early 20s, 30s, and 40s was a beautiful, very richy area. They started pushing a lot of black population into there, and it became a ghetto. They destroyed it. One fucking mischief night, they burnt down half of the city. Now they started pushing all that out, and they're trying to rebuild it.
Right.
That's what they do. They drop the property value.
Hold on a second.
They went through the.
Go ahead, Wayne.
Go ahead, Wayne.
Oh, I was going to say at Camden, New Jersey, they went through and they cleaned the whole police department out, fired every police officer.
They put the state troopers in place.
All
right, so they took this really nice area, then put black people in there to lower the property value, to bring the property value back up to where it was before.
To make it easier.
That doesn't make any fucking bit of sense to me.
It don't, Dave, but it's. It don't, but it's.
How do they put? Who puts who in a neighborhood?
But do they expect black people to really purposely tear stuff down? Do they expect us to tear stuff down? They probably don't. It's just like what we do when we go into shit. We just go in and tear shit up.
You guys aren't listening to what Wayne's saying, though. He's actually kind of agreeing with. Maybe I'm a little extreme, but I think Wayne's agreeing with me. Are you not, Wayne?
I am, because I believe it. Yeah, I am, because that's what I believe. I believe that's what's going on.
So I've got a black guy on the phone, and you guys are arguing with a black guy on what he agrees with what I'm saying. What the fuck?
Because I don't agree with him either. I don't think gentrification is a thing that people do on purpose. I think what happens. Now, I grew up in a shitty time in New York City, right? But I got to watch.
Well, whites are different than blacks. That's Italian you're talking about.
No, I watched Harlem. I was at the beginning of the Harlem Renaissance, right? I started working on buildings, right? For the job that I had. I started seeing all these buildings, like, you motherfuckers are moving. Lawyers are moving in here. Lawyers that somebody that just got a job needs to live in the city but can't live close by, right? So they just go. They're risking their fucking lives at 125th and fucking 2nd Avenue because in the 80s.
You didn't want to be there as a white guy.
Right. So they went in there. Now there's fucking Starbucks.
But now, Dave, Harlem ain't like it used to be now. when you go up to Harlem now. You go up to Harlem, property value's gone up. Remember when Bill Clinton moved in? Prior to him moving in, it was coming up.
Yeah, well, I'm telling you, this is the long thing. When I saw the beginning of it, it was probably 97, 98. When and now so there's Williamsburg, Brooklyn, right, and Brighton Beach, Brooklyn, right. They didn't get regentrified. I'm telling you, man, Coney Island was a fucking shithole. The only time
my mom loved Coney Island growing up. My mother grew up in Long Island. She loved Coney Island.
Yeah, I lived.
It was different back then.
5 miles.
Atlantic City was fucking awesome in the 30s and 40s.
Man, you just keep driving the fucking bus right off. I can't get anything out.
I-
I'm trying to tell
I
a
was-
story.
I was just making a statement. I just made a statement. Go ahead. I wasn't.
I
Go
don't even
ahead.
remember what the fuck I was going to say now.
Well, that's your problem, not mine.
You was talking about Williamsburg Bridge. You were talking about Coney Island. How Coney Island was a shithole, and it was redeveloped when you growing up.
Both Brighton Beach and Williamsburg got regentrified, but not by like Italians or regular white people. The influx of Russians came into immigrants that took over that neighborhood, and I'm
Damn
telling
Russians.
you, they fucking made it a lot better. And now I think the Polish went to Williamsburg and made that fucking place better. And it's these people that are coming. And again, we circle back to immigration, right?
Well, they shooting for a new demographic now to move into places now when they want to regentrify. When they want to gentrify.
Well, here's the thing: is what happened?
They're shooting for
what happened to the black people? What happened to the black people that
The
lived
cops
in
are killing them. That's what happened to black people.
What happened to black people where, Dave?
What happened to the black people that were in Coney Island or that were in Williamsburg? What the fuck? How did it go from a shit neighborhood to a good neighborhood?
I don't know. I don't know.
Right, so you have to solve that
I
problem
don't know about
first.
New York.
I answered that the cops killed them, and the ones that weren't getting killed by the cops moved out because there was too much crime.
Where did they move to?
They moved to where it was a better place for them.
So are they regentrifying another area that used to be white?
No, the good people.
They moved them to the counties.
Right, the good people that don't want to live like that move and go find a way and make it better for themselves.
Right,
they fight hard to do that.
And let's be honest, people.
The rest get shot by the cops.
People
or other black people.
People.
I'm just being honest.
I'm done.
Son, hide them off.
No, I'm just being honest. Look, Dave pushed his mic away. He's like.
Nobody can get a word in edgewise. Sean's going to finish the show, everyone. He's going to have a conversation with himself and himself.
He's going to turn around the corner.
You got to talk into the mic, Dave. You can't just, I'm just saying. Listen, that's my job. That's my job as the host is to be like that. You got to realize that.
The unpaid fucking co-host?
We don't get mad. I didn't want. Did I insult you?
2 fucking weeks, I can't say
Talk into the microphone. He's mad because he can't say shit. Now he won't talk in the microphone when I'm trying to get him to talk to me. Don't get mad for it, Joe. You know I love you.
Yeah, buddy. I love this show.
This was a fun one.
Best thing on the radio.
We didn't even get. I wanted to insult Oprah, and we didn't even get into Oprah's lie about the food pyramid in the 90s. See, I wanted to get into that. And are you going to join me? Oh, jeez, Dave, are you really? Look, he's walking out of the show on me. What's your name, Bubba? Now?
Every one of my fucking.
He's fasting too, and you keep
Yeah, he's
cutting
angry.
him off.
Yeah,
It's
I know.
just too much.
Dave gets angry when I get angry.
He was fasting.
Yeah, he's doing
Yeah.
a 20-hour fast now.
Yeah.
So he eats for like 4 hours and doesn't
for a little
forever.
edgy. Yeah, he probably is a little edgy.
And it's
Yeah,
the first
he
day of
is.
it, so I can be a pain in the
gotta-
ass. I know it.
You got some like citronella for him to smell. You need like something to smell to calm him down.
Yeah, I'll figure
to
something
keep him-
out.
Well, and there's a lot of
Yeah,
other
like-
things, so he's not
Like
doing
some
that.
incense and myrrh, something like that. Something just to mellow him out.
Yeah.
Something just to Yeah, because I know Lexi got something that can mellow him out.
Always.
She's always got incense.
Yeah, something just to let Dave just chill and take it down a notch.
I've got this neat
Cool, though.
look.
That's what makes Dave Dave, though. That's why you love him. I know I missed the fuck out of him when he was in another country, the third world. I know that's a damn sure.
No, he's back now. That's for
Yeah,
sure.
I'm loving it. Shit, I'll take him that way. I'll take him. I don't care.
Wayne, when you coming down to go on the pontoon boat?
I'm actually coming down next week.
No, thanks for the notice.
I shit you not. I'm coming down to Florida. We going on a cruise out of
Wow.
Miami. I'm flying into Fort Lauderdale on the 26th, the 27th.
Complete
You
other
flying
side
down?
of the state from us.
That's gonna be fun.
I
Where
know,
are you going?
Yeah, I've never been on a cruise before, so
Ooh,
we're
I
going
love
to
cruises.
Carnival. It's either the Carnival Elation or the Carnival Celebration. One of them two ships. I don't know. because I've been hearing different things. But I'm supposed to leave the 26th and get to Fort Lauderdale on the 27th or the 25th. I forgot. But it's next week. I'll be down in Florida next week.
Oh, so exciting.
I wanted to hang out at a party and boat with y'all. What you
no,
say, Alex?
I said that's so exciting.
Yeah,
How long is it for?
It's a 5-day cruise.
Nice.
Cool.
Yeah,
We're
you'll
going
have
to
fun.
Key West, so I got to grow my mustache out so I can get a Key West butt tickler. And then we go into Cozumel, Mexico.
Oh, that'll be a great time. I love cruising. That's one of my favorite vacations. Our honeymoon was a cruise, and I've been on 6 or 7, maybe even 8 cruises myself. Lexi's been on
I've
one.
never been on a cruise.
Oh, you'll have
Really?
fun. Yeah, you'll have fun, dude.
Really? I better.
Make sure you do what they just get in there. Every morning you'll get like a little thing of what's going on. Find stuff to go do. Go learn dancing. Go make sure you do the shows. Like, you got to really just have fun, but plan out what's going on, man. And you know, it's you can have a lot of fun. It'll
Sean's
be a great
gonna
time.
plan all your time out too, like he does with everyone else.
Jeez, is everybody mad at me tonight or something? Did I miss something? Like, Jesus, I that's what I do. The part of the job as a show host is to, you know, keep it flowing, keep it moving, maybe break in sometimes and, you know, squirrel off like I do. Don't get mad at me for that.
You definitely keep it moving. You definitely keep it moving.
That's for sure.
You can't get mad at me.
Yeah, you keep shit moving. That's a goddamn show. You like that fucking volcano in Hawaii. Shit keep flowing.
Yeah, you know,
people are fucking flowing.
And that's what makes for a good show, my friend. Speaking of, you can catch the chocolate drop. Yeah, I couldn't tell you when.
Damn.
I thought you maybe like talked to him or
I talked
something.
to Steve Friday. You know, Steve and Brian, they doing the Lawrence LRWS show.
Yeah, I know.
Like, what the fuck? Yeah, I know. I told Steve though what's going on, so it's on me now. So I'm talking to Sean. I told Steve it's on me now. At first it was Steve, now it's on me.
All right. Well, you know, we want you back, brother. You know that. You're always.
I know. Yeah.
You're part of the original Raz family.
You didn't change the password on me, did you?
No. Well, I might have, because, you know, we did lose somebody from the station at one point in time, name unmentioned, used to be on the LRW show.
Right.
So I had to change a lot of stuff. So, and I don't think Amber's passed out recently, but I do think the password may. No, you were just on. You did a show a couple weeks, or like, I don't know, not that long ago.
Yeah, it was about a month or 2 ago, maybe.
Yeah,
so, yeah, I did.
Maybe 3 or 4, 12, 15, I don't know, something like that.
Lexi, reel him in, Lexi.
Lord, I gotta go.
All right, Wayne. Listen, we're gonna wrap up the show, brother. We'll see you soon.
Right,
have a safe trip. Have a good cruise. Make sure you post a bunch of pictures.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
All right. Deuces.
Peace out, brother. There goes Wayne, the chocolate drop.
Reeling you in at this point.
No, I'm done. The show's over.
Yeah.
I'm sick of forking me. Guys, you've been listening to the First 52, RazRadioLive.com, Twitch TV / Sean Raz1. Just enjoy us. Have some fun. I promise you'll enjoy it. Peace out, my friends.
Let's investigate the consequence of a bittersweet loss of sense, a weapon in a war against ourselves. The setting sun is loading guns, don't be afraid of mistakes, emotions misplaced, to love or to hate. I don't know what to do, we're all lost and confused, just trying to get through in this world. Always trying to prove that we're worth what it takes, but it takes a long time in the dirt to see grace. When I'm trying to be real, they tend to be fake. When I'm risking it all with no time to waste. Fuck this rat race, I'm leaving this place. It's time to blast off, destination space. With the sunset hung behind us and the universe to blind us from the moon, we'll watch the whole world explode.
guided through the beautiful, the silent, with the light show from a passing UFO. Lost in the glow of the unknown. Please don't go. And I don't know how I got here or how I'm getting home, but right from day one I've been in this alone, with odds stacked against. I've been drowning in stress. They said, can you take more? I said, give me what's left. An old man once told me, Allie, don't ever look back. Keep your eyes on that prize and give them hell to your death. This is a test, just a frequency check for intelligent life. Now it's time to connect. It's an SOS, the dead's been sent. So now we just wait and hope for the best. With the sunset hung behind us and the universe to blind us from the moon, we'll watch the whole world explode. Moving free, unguided through the beautiful, the silent, with the light show from a passing UFO. Lost in the glow of the unknown. Please don't go. The sunset hung behind us, and the universe to blind us from the moon. We'll watch the whole world explode. Moving free, unguided through the beautiful, the silent, with the light show from a passing UFO. Lost in the glow of the unknown. Please don't go.
Listening to the First 52 on RazRadioLive.com.
It's actually the very definition of terrorism. They're trying to kill people for a political agenda.
It's just, a nicety.
So, just keep in mind, guys, that the news agencies are not there to tell you the truth. They're there to tell you what they're told to tell you.
You're still stuck to the American dollar, and you're still stuck to American laws.
So, I still want to have the freedom to go where I want to go if I need to go. I think that's the most important thing in my mind, at least. And this goes along.
If this is going to be another cum trail, it's going to be another cum trail.
I've got lesbians and he's got cum trail.
Okay, why don't you just move along?
Animals get in the way when you're doing a radio
show.
What
I think is they're going to have to redirect the Americans' mindset.
That would have been even more fun.
Yeah, that would have been a lot of fun. I want you all to keep your eyes open and your ears open on what's going on.
It's the First 52. RazRadioLive.com.
Love you guys so much. Thanks. The First 52's the bump diggity.